Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another segment of Latino Theater Company Live, hosted by myself, Javi Moreno. I want to thank everybody that is joining us, that is coming up live. We don't have a video today to share with you, but I see we have a couple folks joining in. It is a very interesting time that we're dealing with. We want to say there.
Didn't get that.
Whoa!
Could you try again?
We want to say Black Lives Matter. We want to say their name, especially today on her which would have been her 27th birthday. Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and definitely George Floyd, and a long list of folks who have passed. Who have been murdered by the police. Today's conversation is returning to our conversations with our community, Latino Theater Company community, artistic family, and folks who are part of our circle, and extend that to everybody that has stepped into our building. And today we have the pleasure of having our summer interns. Our summer interns work with the Los Angeles County Arts Commission, and now called the Los Angeles Department of Culture and Arts. And they work for a couple of months on different fields. We've opened it up in the last couple of years. They've been tech, and we've also had behind the scenes. They help us with our gala. They help us with our summer readings. And now they're out pursuing a higher education. They've added theater to their higher education, and they've also working in different fields. So I want to bring them all on as we're having this conversation today. As you all know, we're still not allowed. I think we're opening up some part of it next week. The governor's going to open gyms, bars, and stuff like that. But we're still can't be producing live in our space today, and then in the coming weeks we're going to have more of our community speak on everything that's going on. We started this off solely on the pandemic that was going on, COVID-19, and now with everything that's going on with the Black Lives Matter movement, we want to open that space also. So we're going to have a discussion with some of our youth summer intern alumni that are joining us here today. And here we go. Hello. 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 How's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
Good to see you. So I want to go around. And I just do a quick introduction. Once again, I'm Javi Moreno. I'm a marketing director for the Latino Theater Company at the Los Angeles Theater Center. And let's go to my left, right, and we'll go all around.
My name's Michelle Garcia. I was the programming intern in the summer of 2019.
My name is Luisa, Apolaya, Torres. I was the education intern summer 2019.
My name's Amber Espinosa Jones, and I was the development intern in summer 2015.
Hello, I'm Christopher Rojo, and I was one of the technicians for the internship of 2018.
Hi, I'm Anthony Garcia, and I was the tech intern for summer of 2019.
Oh, cool. Anthony, I didn't know you were the tech intern. That's so cool. I know. So thank you so much for joining us today. I know that we've been pushing this date sort of back from last week until this week. And, you know, this is focused on our summer internship at the Los Angeles Theater Center. As I mentioned, it's the program funded by the Los Angeles County Department of Arts and Culture. So how's everybody doing? I know that, you know, as I mentioned, our conversation started with COVID-19, but I want to bring in also the protests that have been going on. I think that not only as protests that, you know, with everything that's going on in our government, in the streets, I think today we were supposed to hear, but I think they're pushing it back. We're supposed to hear the result of SCOTUS's DACA, which is, there's so much going on. It's like 2020. We just keep adding so much stuff. And just in terms of just the Black Lives Matter movement, it's not that it's a brand new thing. This has been going on, not even going to say a couple of years, but it's been going on for generations and generations. And it's crazy that we're still talking. So I want to hear just a little bit about how you're dealing with just first with COVID-19, where you're at right now. Michelle, so I know I will start with most of you, but some of you are in school. How has COVID affected you in your education or what you were doing for work?
I mean, we left for spring break, and then on that Friday, that was when the stay-at-home orders were placed. So we left for spring break and never came back. We just had to stay at home, and then everyone had to get their stuff. I was lucky because I'm only like 20 minutes away, but like my roommates had to get their stuff shipped out to like Philadelphia, Washington.
Wow. And where are you going to school?
Occidental.
And what are you studying at Occidental?
Oh, I don't know yet.
You don't know yet?
No.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Luisa.
So similarly, we actually have a later spring break at MIT. I study mechanical engineering and theater at MIT.
Wow.
And what happened was that on March 12th, Harvard said that they were going to kick out all their students. So a couple of hours later, everyone at MIT was going super crazy, saying like, we're going to be next, because it just works like that. Like MIT does a lot of what Harvard does. So a couple of hours later, a letter from the president came out saying, yeah, like you guys need to be off campus by next Tuesday. Doesn't matter if you're an international student or somebody who lives 20 minutes away, like you just have to leave. That created a lot of protests on campus. And they actually moved back the date from Tuesday to Saturday. And it was really stressful during that time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are Michelle and Lisa, are you in school right now, like online?
No, I finished like 2 weeks ago.
You finished, Lisa?
Yeah, I finished 2 weeks ago.
Cool. Anthony, what about you? I know you're going to school right now, right?
Yeah. Same thing as Michelle. The spring break, did that and never came back. But I'm still taking them. I finish by sometime next week. I should be done. And the transition wasn't really that bad because I already had 2 online classes. So the other ones, they were just like, oh, I already got used to it.
Wow.
But I did know some people, like how they were, Michelle and Lisa were saying that they would live further, and it would affect them in that driving. So.
What are you studying, Anthony?
Oh, I'm majoring in theater right now. Yeah.
Nice. And what school?
At East Los Angeles, East LA, my bad.
Huskies. All right. Christopher.
So I'm in school right now. I finished next week. I already started the school year when the whole thing was still happening. So when we heard Pasadena is one of the closest schools, when we heard they're closing down because of the virus, Glenda was still kind of like, should we do it? Should we follow them? Let's just wait until like the numbers keep rising, then we'll close it. But later, like in a week, they close down the school, go down to online classes. So it's pretty. I mean, the transition was all right. I mean, I don't have to do the drive all the way over there, but I mean, I got it more lazy because of the online classes. That's what I feel. But I mean, the transition was all right. I mean, I already didn't.
Yeah. And where are you going to Glendale? Is that right?
Yeah, Glendale Community College.
And what are you studying at Glendale?
Majoring in theater and technician.
Nice. Cool. Amber, hello. Amber, you were an intern 2015.
Yeah, and I did it right after I graduated, which was really nice because I just like didn't want to have to decide on a job yet. So it was nice to have like, okay, here's 8 weeks where you can like do something.
Yeah.
I went to USC for theater. And now I've been working in diversity and inclusion for Sundance Institute. So like supporting Black and Brown artists, what I do all the time. So it's been like super, like heightened right now. But we've been working from home since the beginning or like mid-March. And I actually went back up to my parents' house in Oakland just because they have air conditioning.
Yeah.
More space. It was getting hot in LA, but the protests are really crazy up here. And like usually I'd be one of those people who are like out on the street, but just because my parents are older, like we're really being safe about COVID. So I've been inside, just going out like groceries and stuff.
Yeah. I didn't realize you studied theater at USC. That's really
Yes.
Brandon's so that's really cool. So what in terms of your internship, and this is for everybody, what's one of the things that I don't know? Well, my production is I don't know anything. That's my job to get to know everybody. But in terms of your internship, what was your experience like, or how did you come across the Latino Theater Company in the Los Angeles Theater Center? Anybody can, whoever wants to start.
Well, I did summer conservatory in 2017. And then after that, I kind of stuck around and they let me assistant stage manage and assistant direct some shows. And then Angie asked me if I wanted to be the programming intern for that summer. So that's how I got it.
Oh, that's cool. Anybody else?
Yeah, Michelle and I were actually part of the same conservatory with Chris, summer 2017. And these are some pictures from that year, actually. Yeah, that was a really, that was part of a song from Hamilton that we did.
That's cool.
Our dance instructor made choreography for that.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, and that was actually, the way I found out about that was that one day I freaked out and I told my mom that I wanted to study theater. And she freaked out as well. And she said, well, where are you going to find theater in LA? Like, we can't afford classes for you. That's super expensive. Like, do you just want to like throw away all your education and study theater? And I was like, well, I don't know if it has to be that extreme. So I just looked up like summer conservatory or like summer theater classes, and I found the LATC.
That's so cool. Chris and Anthony, you all both did summer youth conservatory also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you hear about that?
Angie, she came to our school, and with our theater class, she advertised it, right? And I was interested. I immediately wrote the letter, sent her the email quickly, and then I did the summer youth conservatory for 2018. And after that, I did the play at work in the fall of 2018.
Okay, yeah.
And then the next summer, that's when they said, "Hey, we have the internship if you want to be a part of it." And I said yes right away.
Oh, that's cool. Amber, how did you hear about the internship?
I think, well, I knew because I was been working for a couple years as a usher for Center Theater Group. And
okay.
I knew about LATC. I think I had seen a show there already, but it was through the like list of through the LA County Arts Commission.
Yeah.
They just like they have all the lists of the like organizations that are part of it. Hey, there we go. That are like part of it, and so I really liked downtown and like wanted to also, because I lived by USD, I also wanted to work someplace downtown. It was so easy, like I could just take the bus to work every day.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Oh, that's really cool. What is that's a photo from our gala.
Yeah,
it was 20. Yeah, I think it was 2015, 2016.
Yeah. And that's what my job was really focused on too, was preparing for the gala.
Right. Yeah. Our annual gala at the LATC. So what's one of the Michelle, you were a program intern. Luisa, were you a program intern also, or what
education intern?
Education intern, and that was sort of setting up the summer youth conservatory and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool that you were able to sort of from the experience that you had, kind of use that, right?
Yeah, for sure. I'm because of the experience that I mentioned, I'm really passionate about arts education. I think that the LATC does an amazing job putting on this program for kids who otherwise wouldn't be able to afford it.
Right.
And it was an honor helping with that. I love the kids. It was fun being with Michelle and just like helping run rehearsals for them. It was a highlight of my summer.
So what is it between all of y'all? I mean, I don't know. Was it the internship? Was it? I mean, Amber was already studying theater, but what got you into theater? Whoever wants to start. what got you into theater? Even before your introduction to the Latino Theater Company or the LATC, did you see a play when you were young that inspired you, or was it something within the LATC? Chris, we can start with you.
Yeah. So for me, I really didn't know anything about theater. Like, my parents don't know anything. I mean, probably they do, but they never mentioned it to me. But until one of my high school field trips was to the Center Theater Group to watch a couple plays. Or to say Zoot Suit. I don't remember the other plays that we saw. But then after watching that, I told my teacher that took us, like, hey, do you know any other like plays going on? And then that's when she looked up LATC. She told me, like, oh, these things are going on, and also they have the Summer Youth Conservatory, which I did. So
That's cool.
just mostly through school, my like senior year. That's when I knew about theater.
That's cool. Amber, were you doing theater as a kid, or how did you?
Yeah, I thought I wanted to be an actor for a long time. Kind of until I went to USC and I got the opportunity to stage manage.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I really like this, like, way better than I liked being an actor and putting myself out there, especially kind of like seeing just the roles that are available for like Black and brown actresses also. I was just like really over it.
So you went into USC to study acting, like theater?
Yeah, but it was just a BA. So like we had to like do like tech a couple shows, part of the program and all that stuff. And I really liked it, so I wanted to stick with it.
Yeah. Michelle, Luisa, or Anthony, what got you into theater? What brought you to this world? Whoever wants to.
Well, for me, I did my first play back in 5th grade.
Oh wow, cool!
I immediately liked it. The audience and the characters that you get to play and all the different ranges that basically like costumes you can be in.
What was the play?
It was about Manifest Destiny. It was very political.
Oh wow, 5th grade? That's cool.
Yeah,
what
was
did you go to?
The students didn't really know, but it was the teacher. I guess she wanted to know that.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
I played on John Adams, I think.
Wow, that's really cool. That's really cool. Michelle, Lisa,
I didn't do theater at all. I would ditch class a lot in high school, and I had a theater left for last period, and by last period I was never there. And I remember talking to my teacher, and he was like, well, yeah, you're like not here, I can't like give you a grade, but if you come and like pull the ropes for the curtain for the show that we're having, like you maybe will like talk about it. So I went and did that, and then I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then he was talking about this program that was free in downtown LA for 5 weeks, and I was like, oh yeah, maybe I'll try it. And then so I applied for it and then did it.
Oh, that's so cool. Wow, that's really cool. Lisa?
So when I was 12, I saw the movie Les Miserables. Hi, Evelina.
Evelina.
I didn't see the movie because I didn't want to pay for it, but I saw like little clips, as many little clips as I could in YouTube about Les Miserables. And I fell in love with the idea of like dancing, singing, acting. Like, what is this? Like everything good in the world put together into one thing. So I fell in love with musical theater. And my high school actually didn't have a musical theater program. Like we didn't have money for that. So it was always a dream to study that in some way.
I'm surprised that MIT has a theater program. I was talking to you a couple of days, you're going to design like you're going to have a good paying job engineering the future of theater and everything that goes around with it. I'm interested in for me, I have the same experience as Michelle was mentioning, like ditching and stuff like that. We had a fourth period drama class, and then 5th period we had stagecraft, and I was always there. 3rd period was like intermediate acting and stuff like that. But I'm interested in, when was the first time that you ever like going to see a play? I know, Christopher, you mentioned seeing Zoot Zoot and seeing Matias in that role. That probably why you remember that play, right? You probably saw most of it. But when was one of the times, or what was a play or even a movie that you saw that you're like, oh, that's me. Like I can do this. Or maybe you haven't yet. Whoever wants to share that you first time you saw yourself as a person of color on stage or in a film.
Well, we did summer conservatory in 2017, and right after that was Encuentro. And so those were like the first plays that I had seen, and they were all Latino, like Latinx countries, right? And so that was the first like theater I saw, like the first how many shows were there? Like 12?
Yeah, 12.
Like the first or something, 12, 14 shows I saw were all like Latinx actors and stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the same for me. The first time, like outside of Univision or like novelas and stuff, that I really saw myself on TV was Summer Conservatory 2017. Because like seeing ourselves portray our stories with like Spanish and slang and everything, that was really powerful.
Yeah.
I think I count mine to like dance performances too. Like even as I feel like my grandparents would say Alvin Ailey or like the Dia de los Muertos performances or something.
Yeah.
I see like dance and theater kind of being part of that same world. So definitely through that first.
Chris or Anthony?
So yeah, like what you said, like with Matias, with Jutsu, that's where like something like set into me, like I could do this type of stuff. So when the showing came out for the summer conservatory, it was like life changing, you could say.
Yeah.
And so I felt like, I could do this type of stuff like without anybody like what's the word, say anything bad, or I don't know, I forgot the word for it. Yeah. But like without people like just I could just be free then, like with this type of stuff with theater, like anybody can do it, not only certain type of people, but everybody could do it. So that's the type of thing I felt.
Yeah.
I remember first seeing like the movie with like a lot of people with like Blood In and Blood Out and Freedom Riders. Now it just Blood In and Blood Out, especially, it was a very long movie and very, very real. I remember seeing like stuff like that as a kid. It wasn't that cool, but seeing all that in a movie portraying like people actually go through this and it's shown to the world, it was very nice. And seeing Hispanic and Latinx community in there, the actors right there, it's just very inspiring to like, you can make it. We made it. There's no reason you can't.
Right. What is something that you all would recommend to someone that wants to get into theater or that wants to study theater? I mean, some of you have graduated already. Some of you are in the middle of it, but that want to continue. Would you recommend starting with an internship or going to school first and then internship? What would you recommend? And whoever wants to answer that.
I think, I don't know, it's hard because if you're not in the world, you don't know how many different jobs exist. So I do think like an internship or some sort of like entry level like position is really helpful, because you can kind of just like, it opens your eyes up to see like, oh, there's like a sound designer and like an audience engagement person, and there's like all these different things. And if you're out of it, all you think is that, okay, there's an actor and director, that's it.
Right.
So getting involved in your local theater companies in some way, so you can just have a really hands-on experience, is really important.
Right. And I think that's one of the things that, for those that don't know and that are watching, our PAW program, our Play at Work program, is a behind the scenes program after school, where I think it's high school to maybe start at college, come and they shadow our designers, our directors, behind the scenes, not sort of like the actor, but we do have that program. And part of that is because myself and some of the other company members, we go around and we see the folks that are behind the scenes, and it's usually white folks. There's never people of color. There's never women. That's one of the cool things that we've seen here with the Latino Theater Company, is the women or the diversity behind the set of our building and our staff. And that's one of the things that we want to do, is that it's, even though there's a Latino Theater Company is a theater company, we produce theater, but we also it's not so much about the on stage, but it's the behind the scenes, because it's also, I mean, Christopher, you've been not only you've been an intern, but you've become a staff member with the Latino theater company LATC, but you've also other theaters, right?
Yeah, I work for other places also.
That's cool. And it's all behind the scenes stuff, right?
Yeah, because that's what I prefer now, because I mean, I like the hard work that's put in, and when the show is going on, I just feel kind of proud, like, oh, I made this possible with other people. And like Wayne and Ivan had shown me so many things, like how to coil wire or whatever. And like when I first time when Ivan told me how to coil like some type of thing, I would do it wrong, and he would tell me like, oh, it's supposed to go this way. If you don't do it, then you'll get fired. And so that's the type of stuff that I've learned, but it just makes it to do better.
Right. I think the rule is if you don't coil it right, you're an actor. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
If you coil it right, then you can be a tech person. Amber, so you did. So I really like that. Anthony, you mentioned you were a tech intern. So but you want to be an actor, right?
Yeah, I would like to do both, a little bit of both.
That's cool. I really like, just the diversity of the multidisciplinary, right? Like Amber said, she wanted to start, go to school into acting, and started, you stage managed for a couple shows with the LATC. You've done tech, along with Michelle. I'm not sure if Chris, but you guys are also part of Los Tech softball team. That's a cool photo of y'all three. That's right. But it's really cool that one of the things that happens that I've heard with the Latino Theater Company, as a company themselves, way back in the days, they were doing their lighting, they were doing their costumes, and you are sort of learning some of that stuff. Michelle, you've been an assistant stage manager, but you've also written the plays, right?
Yeah.
How did that start?
During conservatory, there's a playwriting class, and so we were doing that. And then after it ended, a few of us wanted to continue. So Nate, the instructor, was like, "Yeah, sure." And we would start going like twice a week to the theater, I think. And then I wrote a play, and Nate told me about this national playwriting competition, this youth playwriting competition, and he told me to submit to it, and I did, and I got like a production on Hollywood Boulevard, which is cool.
Wow, that's so cool. That's really cool. That's really cool. So with everything that's going on, we spoke about COVID, and I just want to focus on what's going on, what's going on this week, which is not something new. It's something that's been going on for years, but just as young people, right? I'm calling myself out because I'm no longer a young person. But what are your feelings? As I mentioned, with the Latino Theater Center, Latino Theater Company at the Los Angeles Theater Center being a place of diversity and a home for not just Latinos, but for all Angelenos. What do you envision the future of theater in connection with Black Lives Matter movement, or what do you think we should be doing as artists in telling these stories, or what are your thoughts? I just want to hear them.
I mean, I think that it's like, important that you prefaced it by saying that, like, it's not just now, it's like always that this stuff is happening. It's like people have always been getting murdered. Like, these laws have been crazy, like forever, like our kids have been in cages, like all this stuff is always going on. And I think like LATC has always been doing the amazing work to like fight against that. And just now it feels like there's such like a kind of microscope on it because of the world is finally catching on.
Right.
And I think as long as like, as like institutions that reflect people of color, like that, like Latino Theater Company includes Black people and like Afro-Latino and stuff too, but maybe it's not specifically for them, like East-West players and stuff, is like for the Asian community. As long as they're like, it's important that we're not dividing ourselves and remembering that it's a single struggle.
Right.
I think it's just important to keep doing our work and take the white people's money to do it.
Yeah. I mean, and that's one of those things is like, a lot of theater companies. I know that they started after the 1992 LA riots, right? We saw our community be divided. Even just being in downtown, like our building, on Spring Street, and that has changed. Does anybody else want to add to that? Lisa?
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it back to summer 2017. I remember one of the scenes that we did for Summer Conservatory talked about police brutality. And I remember, like, it was Alex, remember, Chris? Yeah. I don't remember who wrote the scene, but
I think I did.
yeah, okay, yeah, Michelle wrote it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And it was really cool because I think we were talking amongst ourselves that was like, we don't see a lot of those stories, narratives, conflicts, aggressions, oppressions portrayed in such a realistic way during our day-to-day. So for me, it was so educational and meaningful to see that on a stage, being played by people of color, being told in such the way that it is felt, So yeah, I think the role of theater is to lift those voices up, ideally. Bring more of that representation on stage, share our stories with the world.
Feels like, because like theater has always been reflective of like the current political movements and the time and what's happening, and it just feels like the pandemic on top of it is just gonna, like, that's affecting our work so much.
Exactly. I mean, that's one of the things that we mentioned in our statement that we put out about Black Lives Matter, is that what we do as a community, Latino theater coming at the LATC, is that we use the power of theater to change lives. I mean, I know I'm a testament of that, of how theater changed my life. And then, for example, all of y'all who have stepped inside the building and have come across it, and what you're doing right now. I mean, Amber, just, as you mentioned, you're now diversity and inclusion at Sundance, like all that stuff. I think that is a reflection of the mission of the theater company. And yeah, I mean, we can't really, we've been trying. I mean, we're sort of being not held back by but it's been very difficult to sort of put a play in this sort of format. We've all, our building has always been a place where, like a town hall, where people can come in, share their stories. And right now with COVID-19, we really can't do that. I mean, just imagine if we were able to put on these plays right now for everybody that's walking literally on our sidewalk in front on Spring. Be really cool. Does anybody else, Michelle, Christopher, Anthony, want to share? Michelle?
Oh yeah. I think, like, in terms of you're saying, like, how can it be better in the future, I think there needs to be more roles that aren't portraying, like Black and brown people as the gangsters and the thugs, and it's just, I think, like, more truthful storytelling is better for all of us. And I know that the Latino Theater Company has been doing that for a long time, so that's good.
Yeah. Chris, you were gonna say something?
I mean, I agree with Michelle. Like, in the future, there should be less, like, sort of like a play or a movie of someone being the Black person or the Mexican being arrested. It shouldn't be always that type of stuff. Just like to show kids, should always be like, I don't know. It should just change up, like, the roles that people play, and that's what the LATC does. Like, that's what I like, because they don't divide people. They don't put one stereotype like below or above. It's always equal. So that's the type of thing. Just keep it equal.
Right. And you see, I mean, I've always meant it's a reflection of our city, right? I mean, I think that's one of the cool things that not just in theater, I mean, but like with theater I'm from East LA, some of us are from there, in a predominantly Mexican community, but with theater, my world changed. And that's what I love about it, is that my entire surrounding changed. Because I got to hear other stories. I got to tell other stories. I got to be other characters. So that's one of the things. Anthony, do you want to share anything?
Yeah, definitely. We can, like Michelle said, share more roles and share stories of people who are not only affected by that, but like be very informative of how much it occurs and who it affects the most and what we can do to try to stop it. Definitely do that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Ivan just sent me a video feed. They're protesting in front of our building right now. So keep on keep on marching. So in a couple of minutes, I'm going to open up for comments, questions that you have for any of our interns, past, present, future. If you want to ask them, how to apply. I'm not even sure. I don't know if you all know if there's a summer internship. I don't know if it's at the Latino Theater Company this year. I'm not sure. But I don't know if LA County or any other internships or opportunities for folks of color to participate, to share their message, or ways that us, I know that, as I mentioned, I think as a Latino theater company, what we can be doing as Latinos to support Black folks and to amplify their voices. If anybody wants to share that. But if you have a question, anybody, please comment, and we'll bring those up in the next couple of minutes. Does anybody want to share?
I think Jeff had a question.
Yeah. Well, you are the future generation that will carry on our traditions. Where do you see yourselves doing that? Whoever wants to answer.
I'll start. I'll say that also Jeff was an awesome mentor to me while at Latino Theater Company, because he knew I was like already graduated college, so I'd be looking for like a job next, and he was just like sat me down one day and was just like, "Oh, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? Where are your goals? I know this person, and this person. Can I help you out?" And was just always like checking up on me and stuff, which was helpful and like motivated me to apply to jobs and like to get my next one.
Yeah,
and I just think the whole like reminding, even if we go on to like big institutions and all this stuff, that like the community aspect and the way that we work together is the work. It's not like the product that we put out. It's not the show. It's not how many tickets we sell. It's like, are we treating each other well? Are we keeping the community in mind? So like my time there was like, so I didn't realize how unique it was to have like Watts and Roby in the building and like run over to Company Angels just to pick something up, and then like Richard Marquez in the lobby and just talk and stuff. So I think I try to bring that to whatever space I go, especially in like the entertainment industry, which can be so cold. And just to remember to value like how we treat each other.
Yeah, I know, Luisa, you're doing an internship right now, right?
Yeah, I'm doing an internship with Milwaukee Tool in Wisconsin. Ideally helping people understand what they want better in their tools and like listening to them. A lot of empathy work. So actually a lot of the, like, I think one of the reasons why they hired me for this job is because of the theater, because like they want good communicators, people that can empathize and stuff. So yeah, and to answer the question, I really don't know what I want to be when I grow up, even though like technically we're all grown up, but like not really. I want to keep helping the community in any way that we can. I want to keep theater part of my life in some way. Yeah.
Anybody who wants to answer the question, Jeff's or mine?
Yes. I don't know what I don't have like a declared major yet, but I think I'm really leaning towards something in education, because I would love to keep working in, like East LA, where I'm from, and I went to Garfield High School, and that's where it kind of the influences that I had there are really what like shaped me, and I would love to keep working in theater and bring that to the community, because that also is like a really life-changing thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Anthony, Chris?
That's a Jeff question. I would do something else in the future, producing films that are highly around Latinx culture and traditions and the way of life, and get them out there to inform others of how we live. And we're not the stereotypes that people say lazy, because a lot of us are working in the essential workers jobs.
Right. Yeah.
For me, well, what I see myself doing probably just keep working as a tech, but supporting the places that support the right cause. So LATC, like I'll continue working for them, doing my best and just keep working and just doing stuff that's right, teach people that don't know anything, and just that's the type of thing that I probably see myself doing in the future.
Yeah, that's real. I mean, interesting. What a lot of you shared about education and theater. I mean, and I think that's one of the interesting things about the theater that we do in our community was not just some form of entertainment, right? That's a part of it, but it has been sort of the story circle. The surrounding the fire, because for hundreds of thousands of years, like when they burned our books and our history, the only way that we were able to tell that story and to keep it going was through song and poetry and theater. And that's one of the things that for me that I gravitated toward theater, because I started, that's where I like, for example, being born and raised here in Boyle Heights, East LA, the way I learned my history was through the murals, right? I was like, who are these people that are in these murals? And then I started seeing theater and I started learning more about myself. And that's one of the things that, while we say it's why theater is so powerful and why I think it's so needed right now. And I think that I wish that, I one of the things that I loved about the protests that have been going on, like the part of like the, when the silence is so powerful, when we all get quiet, just as the chants, but also when we're all dancing together. I mean, like, that's what it is. Like, we come from a place of love. So when people try to hijack words by saying other things, it's what's happening? It gets lost. It gets lost. So if anybody, like exactly like Teatro Campesino, Luisa, if you want to share that, Luisa.
No, Amber put it at Teatro Campesino.
Oh, well, you said we come from a place of love. Totally.
Yeah, I like how you said that. We come from a place.
No,
of love.
and it's true. I mean, it's part of that. I mean, I think. I mean, I what the reason? I mean, I've been doing a theater since I was a baby, but I loved it. But it also is like the applause and the love and stuff like that. But just being able to tell the story. I mean, I was on tour of this play, and we toured, and being able to tell. I played Baby Jesus. To be able to tell stories that matter, real stories where people say, "Man, I was you, man. You told my story." It's something that I feel I've heard a lot of times in the LATC lobby, right? Like people say, "Man, that's my story," or I never knew about this. Like, it was really cool that they brought back Zoot Suit, because literally it's been, I don't know, what's going on right now happened during Zoot Suit, what's going on. So just an update on our LA County interns. The county is restructuring the program so interns can work during the school year whenever that starts up. So be on the lookout on that. I think some theater companies, some art organizations put it out when the internships are being accepted, and then the LA County puts it out there. You guys get paid, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I want to make sure I mention that, because it's you all got paid. You were on you all got to work with interns from other organizations. All right, you want to share some of your experience about that?
Oh,
if you
also, I had a really good. I would say for my year, they broke it up into cohorts throughout like the areas in LA you were. And so I did, we were in downtown, obviously. And I met one of my really good friends, Chavez, who was interning at Grand Park, but the foundation that puts on all the Grand Park stuff. I don't remember their official name. But anyway, so we've been like friends since then. And she started working at Sundance too. And she's, she's from Whittier and also Chicana. And so we've been kind of like plotting over there at Sundance and doing the work. But it's been fun because we both had our roots from the internship program.
That's cool. Anybody else? Did y'all have cohorts also?
Yeah. I was part of, I think our year they did it a little differently. right, Michelle? Like we signed up for the one that we liked, or
Yeah.
like, yeah. So there was like different workshops, and we like signed up for some, and I got placed on one that was like art and activism, and it was centered around East LA, Boyle Heights, how art can be paired with activism.
Oh
And
wow, that's really cool.
yeah, it was super cool. I met some people. I forget the organization's name, but it's more near East LA, and they do like music work with kids in the area. Like they have like a recording studio in their location, and they like make music.
Oh, is it the Boyle Heights Youth Conservatory?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, really cool.
yeah. That was super dope. And just like shout out to like the arts internship, the what was it, the event that they put on for us? Like all the arts interns got together for one day.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was so cool. That for me like meant so much because it was the first time I had been around so many people that just wanted to do art and wanted to like explore,
And
express.
that looked like you.
Huh?
And that the people that looked like you too.
Yeah, like it was really powerful. I came home that day and my dad said I couldn't stop smiling. It was so cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Kristen and Michelle and Anthony, did you have a similar experience? Did you connect with people from that were doing other?
yeah. I think I was going to one of the museums to meet up with all the interns from like everywhere in the LA County. Me and Christina was another intern.
Yes.
We all met. Christina met a girl from the Center Theater Group, and that's where I also met her too through the meeting we have at the museum. But it was just meeting a lot of new people that we don't know about, people that are passionate about theater, that wanted to work in the theater industry. That's where they're doing the internship. So it was like pretty cool to see like all the other people from different places, from different theaters, coming together and probably talk and share an experience together.
Yeah.
Right. Anthony, you remember that too?
Yeah. The arts and I
Your head.
it was the same.
What's that?
Michelle and Lisa, we went to the same art summit. It was really cool seeing all the people that are interested in the same things you are. And we signed up for the workshops too. I remember I signed up for navigating the gig economy. That one was very cool and informative. I forgot the speakers, but I think that was, and how they were just explaining on how to find a next gig, how to get to your next gig, how to be prepared for it, what are you doing, how to always under promise, over deliver. That is very, very important. So that was very cool.
That's Michelle. Do you want to share anything
Oh,
about the internship, about the years?
We along with the art summit, we also had I think it was maybe 2 or 3 times during the internship you would meet with your group separately. And I remember the group that I was with, I forgot what the name was exactly, but the facilitator would bring in a bunch of writers and people who were working in theater and the entertainment industry, and they were like all people of color, and they would like talk to us about their experiences, which was really cool to like meet and connect with them.
Yeah, totally. I mean, so we have another question from Jeff. What advice would you give students who are now juniors or seniors?
I'll say something. I would say.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So one thing that I would say is just take the opportunity. If you see an opportunity, take it. That's where one of the techs from LATC told me when he was telling me everything, that how did he get to the industry and like all the other stuff. He told me, I just said, he told me like, I just said, screw it. And I took that opportunity, and that's where I'm at today. So that's one thing I would say, is just take whatever opportunity you get. Just say screw it and just go for it. Just do it.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Anybody else?
I agree with that, and I would super ask for more money. So I think we're all scared to do that, especially as like women of color, I think, and like people of color, just like, but just ask.
Yeah.
have confidence. You're not going to get in trouble for asking.
Awesome. One of the things that do you want to add something? Someone want to add?
Oh, I was just gonna
No,
say
it's fine.
that.
One of the things I want to add. How do you feel? How do you feel theaters could be amplifying the Black Lives Matter movement?
I think the work starts from within, right? So it's like analyze, do you have Black people that you work with? Are they, part of your board, part of your like a staff? Like, are they only in like junior positions? What does that look like? And I think, because otherwise if you're just doing things just because it's like trending or whatever, it's inauthentic. So I think it just starts by really looking within. And then seeing it all intersectionally, because like, again, if you work for the Latino community, then you also work for Black people. And if you work for,
Right.
like you need to be able to look at it that way. So I think, look at yourselves.
Anyone else? I think you most have sort of answered that, is about, sharing their stories, changing the narrative, right? The plays, the characters that we see on stage, and also supporting the work that's being out there. We're always like, I know that, and especially in the Latino community, we're always like, oh, there's not a lot of Latinos in TV or in theater and stuff like that. And I think it's the same with folks in the Black community, supporting their work. I think that's one of the beautiful things. I remember when I was in high school, and I would hear there was kids from South Central that would come, and people would always try to start this race war against us. And I remember like Power 106 is this big thing about like Black and brown unity. And one of the cool things that I've been hearing on what's the radio on K-Day, not K-Day, I forget the radio station, 92.3 The Beat or whatever. Like just hearing that Black and brown unity. And that's one of the cool things that I'm hearing about it, because we need that more now, because we're seeing that sort of division and, amplifying on both sides, supporting each other. Right. So that's really cool. I just want to say, if anybody else has a question, you can shout it out. But I just want to say that, it's really nice to hear your story coming from, where you started in theater, where you're out now, being an intern, or even already in the field doing the work. But just hearing from the stories, it's really cool. Yeah, we are proud of you. And you give us optimism about the future. And I think that that's where it all starts. It starts, it's going to be the youth, a big part. I mean, it's like, I know for me, one of the things that I've been doing this week, as some like Amber was mentioning, like I went to a protest and it felt so good. I used to go to so many protests, but for 3 months, I was surrounded by more than 5 people for the first time in like 3 months, right? That was really interesting and scary at the same time. But everybody, I haven't seen people united. I used to go to protests and see people like, oh, let's go do this and let's go. And I was like, this was so united. People were giving water for free, masks, hand sanitizer. And one of the things that I've been doing, the way that I've been doing, because I know how corrupt the system is and I know how thuggish the cops have become, that I just kind of stepped away from the marches. And the way that I've been sort of giving my voice is by helping out organizations with graphic design and sharing that stuff. But also educating my parents, my uncles and aunts, and my Latino folks in the Latino community. Because, I mean, I remember a long time ago, someone said, I saw someone with a Zapata shirt and they were like claiming, or Pancho, all this stuff. And it was like, yo, Zapata's mom was Black, if you don't know. Like, so, you can't be wearing that shirt just like that. And that's part of it. More of that. We're all in this together. So as Evelina, Diane, I just want to say that we're all proud of y'all, the message and the stories. Martin from the department. Yay, what's up? Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you
Martin,
for organizing the Art Summit. Yes, it was great. Thank you for organizing the art summit. It was great.
Yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, if you know information of maybe I know that one of the cool things that I've been seeing, I mean, is there's a lot of youth out there. I mean, but there's really nothing they can do right now, so they're using their voice. But if anybody knows about internships or programs for youth, please email us. We'll post those on our Facebook and our Twitters and Instagram and send an email out. But thank you so much. Any last comments, questions? Federico, what's up?
I just want to give like a general shout out to Angie, because if it wasn't for Angie and like all her hard work, I don't think any of us would be here right now. So thank you, Angie. Yeah, and thank you, LATC, for opening their doors for all of us so we could grow, we could get opportunities, we could help our communities in this way.
Help us.
Shout out to Wayne.
When y'all become the artistic directors and technical directors, hire Wayne, hire myself, Ivan. I was a viejito already. I'm gonna shut my camera down. Anybody else have something to share?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have one more comment. Yay. Thank you so much. This was wonderful. For those that are watching, we're gonna continue our conversations in the coming weeks with our Latino Theater Company community, artistic family, staff, and folks that are within our building. But I want to share that, not just with you folks, but with everybody out there, is that the type of theater that we do is theater for the people, and beyond the theater, theater is just these things that's covered with the walls. But what we're doing out in the street is a form of theater, sharing our voice, pushing our voice, telling the stories. And so right now is the perfect time if you're out there to support Black and brown stories and support the youth. And I mean, I know we can't be together. I know that's one of the beautiful things about theater is that we're all in one room seeing that same story. And I can't wait to go back and be able to do that. And if we can't do that right now, then we will go to the streets and do it, because I can't really do it in this live.
So,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Have y'all ever seen that, like street theater, political theater? Really cool.
I know Jose Luis did something last fall, right? Like the La Víctima, was it?
Yeah, we did La Víctima. We did a free production of La Víctima out in the communities, the different organizations, and that was something that was really cool. So there's definitely, there you go. There's lots of opportunities, especially right now that we, to sort of support, the message, get that message across. And that, I think that's one of the things that you've all have shared, that's what theater does. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for your comments, your questions. Please, if you have any information about internship and how youth can get involved into theater, I know we do, and we'll share that information as it becomes available. But please type that in the comments, email us at info@thelatc.org. And thank you so much. And we will see you next week. Thank you.